Hey YouTube, it's another perfect day in God's country, and I ain't lying. I'm here at our camp in beautiful Keweenaw County, Michigan's Upper Peninsula. The UP, for those of you who are not familiar or not from Michigan, the UP is what people refer to this place as Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Those of us who live here call it the Great Superior State. I don't consider myself to be a Michigan resident. I'm a resident of the Great Superior State. Anyway, so I'm here at the camp. It is October something, and what is it, about the 19th, 20th? I should probably know this, but it's a Sunday. So as usual, I got out of bed with a nice long list of projects to do, and had a couple cups of coffee and got right at it and got right to it. So now I have made my way. I've already been to town. I'm back from town, and I'm here winterizing the cabin, which is, I don't know, good news, bad news. Kind of sad, means winter's coming, but here you can hear all the water running in here. That's me draining the tank. That water's still warm. I actually took a sauna in here last night. Not us, but some friends of ours. Some guests took a sauna in there last night. And I'm closing her up for the season here, winterizing it, letting all the water out of all the pipes so nothing freezes, draining the pumps, draining the water tanks, etc., etc. So I got a little bit of time on my hands while all that water drains. So I wanted to do a video that, yeah, I know I'm gonna make it really I'm gonna make it sound really clickbaity too, because it's just, it's one of those 3 chords in the truth type of songs, right? I got to fill you guys in on what's been going on here at the camp. I don't talk about it a lot. Surely don't bring it up to my guests before they arrive, However, I'll just kind of tell you guys the story, and you let me know what you think. We are in Keweenaw County, the most sparsely populated county in the state of Michigan, and it's even the most sparsely populated county in the Great Superior State. By far, there's no second close. I think there's 1,100 residents in the entire county, and it's a big county. It's all a peninsula out in Lake Superior. It's an absolutely just wonderful place to live and raise my son, and I couldn't be any more blessed, y'all. So it is truly another perfect day in God's country, and I ain't lying. I am blessed to be here, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to lay this story on my listeners, and maybe somebody somewhere that's had similar experiences might hear something that I say and go, yeah, that happened to us too, or anything like that. I just kind of want to tell the stories because they're good stories. Folks, gather around the campfire. What you are about to hear is a true story from the wilderness of the UP. Now, this is our cabin. This is only 4 miles from my house. But that is the closest settlement to this camp. For those of you who have been here, some of my dear friends, it's literally in the middle of nowhere. You are about 4 miles from the next person. And some of those are seasonal homes anyway. But my house is 4 miles from here, so you can always get me. Lucky man, we need help. What's going on? Ah! Okay, I'm 4 miles from my house here at the camp. And early this spring, when I was doing a bunch of work down here by the river and such, I spent about a week here prepping the yard and clearing the river and everything for our guests that were coming to visit, and was way down here. I'm not going to go climb around in all that brush, but I did want to let you guys know how far we are from any other human beings. Like, we are truly, there's that dang box again. Sorry, folks. We are truly in the wilderness and truly in the North Woods The colors have already peaked, by the way, although like I'm mostly softwoods here, so you're not going to get much colors down here on my place here, but you can see over that way. I should have took some footage cruising down the road. It's really beautiful right now. The colors are pretty much peaked. A few more days, they're going to start falling off, and yada, yada, yada. And the temperatures are dropping, getting down into the, they're calling for 34 at night and 36. And that means that here in my neck of the woods, kind of close to the lake and all that, we always need to be, if they say it's going to be 34, you definitely need to be prepared that it could drop below 32 and significantly. About 4 o'clock in the morning, it might be 27 outside. Wait, they said 34. Well, they're pretty close. It'll be 34 when the sun comes up. So, so that's why I'm here winterizing. Pretty much the season is over. And temperature dropping by the day. It's a beautiful day today, about 52 degrees, I think, right now. And but you can feel, the air, the fall air has kind of moved along, and you're starting to feel that, hey, here we come, type of air. The gales in November come in early, like they do every year. So listen, I don't want to just sit here and flap my jaws. I want to tell you all this story. So I did a bunch of work, had a little path cleared down, and there's a little island in the river down there because we got a family of beavers, made a nice pond down there, a real nice fishing hole certain times a year. Because all the trout run in this river and whatnot. So anyway, there's a little island. So I took like a 2x6 and laid it across the river. It was a nice, thick, heavy-duty, like hand-sewn old piece of wood, right? So I laid it across so we had a little bridge. Well, a week later, I have my son with me, and I'm like, come on, I want to go show you we can walk across the bridge, go out on the little island. It's cool. I knew he would enjoy that. So we go down there, and the bridge is gone. And I realized, oh, man, we had 2 days of rain, The river rose, and, my wooden bridge floated and then floated away. I don't know how far it went, but I ain't never seen it again. So with all that said, it was kind of back in that thicket back there near the beaver pond. I don't know what y'all can see. Hopefully I'm getting some beautiful footage out here. It's a beautiful place to be, and this is a wonderful time of year. Fall's probably my favorite. In the summer when I'm down to like shorts and flip-flops and stuff, I start to look like a fat guy. But once the UP weather starts rolling back around, I just look prepared. So it's pretty cool. I get my flannel on and my hat and all that shit. I don't look like a fat guy anymore. I just look more prepared for the circumstances. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, I got my son with me. We go down there, and I'm freaking out, like, hey, who stole my bridge? Why would somebody steal my bridge? And I'm thinking, them dang beavers took my bridge. And then I'm like, no, I know what happened. The water rose, it floated away. Meanwhile, my son says, hey, look at these huge dog prints, man, right by the river. Maybe someone was down here walking their dog. So I come over, and there's these, sizable dog prints. Like, I don't know, like St. Bernard size or something, like really big, almost the size of my hand, but they clearly look like dog prints. There's only 2 of them, and they're side by side. And so I'm like, oh, hey, good find, buddy. We start looking at them. I'm a little frustrated because we do not get trespassers, we just don't. People are super cool up here, and there's plenty of places people can go. And, some of the young fellers around that like to fish this river, I'm known to be real nice to them. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody here. You want to do a little fishing? Go ahead, man. Catch them trout, boys. Of course I want them boys out here doing what they ought to be doing, and that's freaking fishing and hanging out in the woods. So I'm pretty nice to anybody that is down here fishing. And, of course, I don't own the water. Nobody owns the water. It's just real difficult to stay in this river if you're fishing, because it's such wilderness terrain. This all looks really nice, but that's because I've done all that work to open it up so that I could come down to the river. But long story longer, we find these really big dog prints. So we're like, okay, yeah, all right, he ran into the river, whatever. The problem was we couldn't find like the back legs prints or the front legs. We didn't know what we was looking at. We just found 2 big dog prints next to each other like it was standing there next to the river. And we scoured everywhere and couldn't figure it out and couldn't find no more dog prints. Now, Michigan is well known for people claiming to see a cryptid that is known as the Dogman. I'm trying to give you guys some good scenery instead of my ugly face, eh? So, of course, me and my son make a couple of jokes about the Dogman, right? Oh, it's a Dogman. Oh, I don't know, man. I ain't never seen no dog that big. And nobody's going to be walking their dog on my place. And there's not a lot of stray dogs around here, folks. If your dog gets a hankering one day and decides it wants to run away from home, you just let it go. And that son of a bitch can be back as soon as he gets cold. And then he's going to stop doing that because he realizes it ain't so fun. Ain't fun being cold and lost and hungry and cars trying to hit you and all that. So you just leave him run loose for a while and he'll figure all that out. But, yeah, I'm going to sit this down for a minute so I can light this Marlboro. So that was just, we didn't think anything of it. Of course, I didn't think like, we have a dog man. We have a dog man problem at my camp. Of course, I didn't think that, folks. Not saying that, but I'm saying we made a few jokes about the dog man, and of course, it did run around my head a little bit. I'm like, that was really weird, man. It was like two big, giant dog prints, clearly dog prints, right in the mud. Now, the rest of the terrain wasn't mud, so we weren't able to find nothing. Maybe I should have done a little more tracking or whatever. But anyway, we laughed it off. We went home and watched a couple Dogman videos on the YouTube, eh? When, my son's like, Dogman, huh? I'm like, I don't know, So anyway, we had our fun. We laughed a little bit. Never told nobody. Just kind of me and my son, right? This is our little Dogman joke. Fast forward a few weeks. It wasn't very long. In fact, the prep work I was doing was because I had guests coming. My dear friends, Annette and Brian, were coming up to visit for like 9 or 10 days or 8 days or something. So I'm here grooming the place and dialing everything in when I had my little Dogman laughing experience there where I laughed about the dog tracks with my son, who also saw them. 2 witnesses, y'all. He's the one that found it. So then, do I tell my guests, hey, look out for the Dogman? No. They come, they're having a good time, we're having a good time. Now, I don't think we said anything at all about what happened a couple weeks before. And one day they're like, hey, man, as soon as I get over here to visit with them, they go, hey, we want to show you something, right? We heard some really strange noises from really close in the woods, that direction. They're pointing up my driveway. And they're like, we heard some really strange noises, and it seemed like it was communicating back with us, We were out, they were outside, and because they're stargazers like me, they wanted to look at the sky. They love being outside. My friend Annette, she wants nothing more than to be outside here in the wilderness. And I'm pretty sure Brian loved it just the same. He's that same kind of, cut from that same kind of cloth. So they're just having a great time here in the woods, enjoying the silence, peace and quiet, a tranquility that's very difficult to find anywhere out in the real world. Pretty much have to come to the Great Superior State to get the true Yooper experience like you get at Lucky's Flat Earth Lodge. So with all that said, they're like, we heard this noise last night and it was insane. No, they didn't say it was insane. They're like, it seemed like it was communicating with us. We tried chirping or howling. I can't remember exactly what they told me, folks. And I hate putting words in people's mouths, but at the same time, it's cinema. I have to, try to do my best to repeat what they told me. But they were like really worked up about it. At first I was like, yeah, okay, cool. We'll talk about it. But they kept on and they're like, man, we want to show you this. So it was one of the first things I did when I got here. They took me up in the driveway because they said in the middle of the night, they were hearing noises in this direction and it seemed like it was responding back to them. And they said there were noises like they've never heard. It was very unusual sounding creature and they knew something was there and they said it sounded very unusual. So in the morning, they were curious and they went walking down the driveway. Well, I'll be dipped. What did they find? Some very large dog prints. And keep in mind, it wasn't me telling them, hey, you guys look out for the Dogman when you're, keep that in mind. So I'm like, oh, dog prints, huh? You know, my bells are going ding, 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 ding. Somebody walking their dog here again? No, I don't think so, folks. So here's the deal. He's kind of showing to me, and Brian starts talking, and he's like, but look, it looks like it's standing upright because there's a right one and a left one, and then a right one and a left one. And we can see where it's moving quick. Like, oh, look, it started moving fast. You can see where it kicked the dirt. They looked fresh, man. Right in the driveway, folks, which is all Lake Superior sand here. So it, was very evident there were dog tracks in the driveway. Ironically, in the morning after, they hear these weird noises in the woods. And I went, after he said that, I'm looking at him and I'm like, boy, it sure as shit does look like it was standing upright. Where's the forelegs? No, there's two, and they're big. Like I said, man, if it's a dog, it's a gosh darn St. Bernard or one of the biggest German Shepherds I ever seen. I've seen some big German Shepherds, man. But anyway, strange. But wait, there's more. We all kind of laughed that off, but keep in mind that I wasn't there to hear what they heard and what they experienced. Now, Brian, who was here with Annette, he's from the Netherlands, by the way. Or Denmark? I'm sorry. No, he's from the Netherlands. Denmark. I don't know. I think he's Danish, right? Yeah, Denmark. Or, yeah. Finland? No, Denmark. Brian. When he's here, he's in the United States. That's cool. And I hope when he's back, he comes and visits Lucky again. So Brian's a pretty serious cat, man, and he sure ain't no dummy, and he's got a lot of skills. He's a really bright cat, and he's highly skilled in many areas. And it rattled him enough that he wants to make another trip to the United States, and he wants to go to Isle Royal, which is an island out in Lake Superior that gets a little more rugged and a little more wilderness than this area, and is known for its moose and its mountain lions and that sort of thing, but also Dogman sightings, kind of like northern Michigan is, right? So he was here, he witnessed it. They showed me the prints. All I can say is I have no explanation, but what it appeared to be was very large dog prints walking in an upright position and then moving out quicker. That's what it appeared to be. But wait, there's more. Just a couple weeks ago, I'm here doing some work, and I'm inside the cabin, and it's not a windy day. There's no noises around. We do have a road, but a little bit, there's enough woods between here and the road that you don't really notice the cars much unless it's like a loud truck or one of my vehicles going by. But for the most part, you hardly notice it, and there's not much traffic on it, particularly after rush hour, like 5, 6 o'clock. Then it thins way down, and by 2 a.m., I mean, you're probably not going to see a car an hour. There's probably 3 hours in the middle of the night where nobody goes down it, but it's, really, really low traffic road. So it gets absolutely silent here. So I'm in the cabin cleaning and working, and I don't have any music on or anything, and I hear a substantial noise outside the cabin. I don't even flinch because I'm not afraid of anything in these woods, right, folks? I mean, I was raised in Detroit, and I've been married 3 times. There is nothing in these woods that I'm afraid of, okay? In fact, I would give you, I'll just, a lot of people go, oh, that's crazy. For example, we have black bears, not afraid of them at all. I'm certain I could pet one. And we have mountain lions. Now those you don't mess with, of course, and they will mess with you if they get hungry enough. They have been known to do some weird things, and those things are vicious, but I still ain't afraid of them because I've been married 3 times, and I'm going to prove it to you right now, fellas. For all of you going, I don't know about that, let me just give you a scenario. Let's just say I'm standing here making this video right now, and I look behind me and I go, oh, hey, you guys, look, there's a bobcat coming out of the woods. Look at that. Right? Of course, I'd go over here and grab my big poker stick, right? But I wouldn't run. I'd be like, look at that. Oh, what a pretty cat. Look at that, boys. I might slowly start walking towards the door, right? But I guarantee you I don't feel like I'm in some kind of trouble and I should fear for my life or any of that shit. It's like, no problem, man. There's a cat out there. That's cool. I'm not a big fan of cats, but I'll talk to him and shit. No big deal. I'm not going to freak out. However, over on this other side here, this would be my driveway. Now, if some beautiful smoking hot chick in a mini skirt and high heels comes walking up that driveway and sees me and says, "Sir, we're really in trouble. Do you have a phone?" I'm going to freak the fuck out because I know there's trouble brewing. And I'm telling you right now, fellas, if you don't believe me, I would ask you to play both scenarios out in your head. Which one of those scenarios do you think is more likely to cause you a bunch of grief? I got to tell you, 25 years ago, I'd have been like, "Sure, Dial, of course I got a phone." Nowadays, I'm like, holy shit. Now I'm fearing for my life. Now I'm going, hey, man, you know, this can't end well. This is just not going to end well. That girl is trouble. Period. You know what I'm saying? I see the threat instantly now, boys. And, you know, so you learn things as you get older. You know what I mean? But, yeah, so there ain't nothing in this woods going to trouble me any, man. But I'm going to continue here and hope and pray that some, you know, hot chick don't walk down the driveway half drunk going, "Sir, do you got a phone?" That's when I fear for my life. Okay? Other than that, not a damn thing happens here. So I'm inside the camp working, and I hear quite a racket, like a pretty loud noise that I actually couldn't identify. So I don't even stop. I'm cleaning. I think I was cleaning the kitchen table, believe it or not, and I'm wiping stuff. So it was really easy to hear it, even though I got all the windows closed. Very significant noise, clearly from my yard. I didn't even stop what I was doing. I just went, oh, somebody's here. One of my buddies saw my truck, and now he's going to come, and I'm going to hear him any second, walk up the stairs and knock on the door. So I don't even flinch. I am 100% sure someone just pulled up because I just heard a loud-ass noise, and it's a quiet day, no wind, and I'm in the middle of nowhere. I pretty much am like, oh, cool, someone's here, you know. And I'm not going to go meet them at the fucking door. They can come and knock, and I'll go, quiet, you know. That's that. So I don't even stop what I'm doing to the point of where I forget all about it. And da-da-da-da, and then I think I ran the vacuum around a little bit. Then I'm done. Or then I'm done with the vacuum, and I put it away, and I'm doing something else, and I hear another significant noise, but it's a quick whap, like a sound I've heard before. Like somebody smacks the side of your house, or exactly what I'm about to tell you happened, because I've had this happen in front of me before. In fact, I'd say I've seen this 8 to 10 times. Maybe somebody better let me know if, like, hey, that's not normal. Most people never see that in their lifetime. It might be an omen, Lucky, but I actually recognized the sound as exactly what it turned out to be. I didn't instantly go, I know what that was, but I'm like, oh, I know that sound. And so I'm pretty much done in the cabin. So I close the cabin and I come outside, and I had already done all my work around my sauna, including dumping out a bucket of water, right? So I was in the area right beside my sauna. In fact, hell, I'll just show y'all. Here's the sauna. The water's still draining. And I brought one of these white buckets, and I turned it upside down so it could drain. So all the water would drip out of it. You know, I dumped the water out, then I stuck it upside down right about here. So I was just here, right? You know, 20 minutes ago, before I went in the cabin. Nothing was here but my bucket, okay? So I leave the bucket because it's dripping water, and I'm going to put it back in the sauna when it's done dripping when I come back. So after I come out, I'm like, oh, my dang bucket's still sitting there. I got to clean that up before I go. So I go over here where the bucket is, and right here sits what I perceive to be a dead bird. There's a dead bird laying there. Clear as a bell. There's no way it was just there. And I immediately go, yep, that's that recognizable sound of a bird smashing into a window and breaking his neck and falling to his death, which I promise you all has happened to me 8 to 12 times in my life. I have a giant picture window. For those of y'all who used to watch all my wintertime morning coffee and Marlboros videos with Lucky Haskins, you know that I sit in front of that giant picture window. And, I don't know, once every year or so, a bird hits that at full speed, and it scares the tar out of anyone in the house, boy. Scares the shit out of the dog, the cat. I mean, everybody jumps. What the shit? Just a bird hit the window. So this thing was in the obvious spot where it hit the window. I knew the sound. I'm like, I heard that from inside the cabin, y'all. That's how quiet it is here. So I'm like, whoa, is that weird, eh? Because it wasn't just there. So I pick up the bucket. I take the bucket over here. Just want to, verify this is not one of, I hate those new channels, folks, where people are just making shit up, making up stories, AI, all this. That's kind of why I'm starting to do this stuff. It's like, no. We don't want to watch no AI. We don't want to watch no AI narrator. We got to keep it real, y'all. AI has wrecked the world already. Come on, we got to live a little. So this is really, honest to God, what happened. So there's a bird there. So I'm like, well, I'll be dipped. I said to myself, it was not just there. I was just here. So I know in my heart of hearts, that's what I heard. The second noise. Are you guys listening? I never did figure out what the first noise was. And it was quite more significant than the bird hitting the window, to the point where I was convinced I heard a car pull up and someone close the door or something, although it didn't sound anything like a car door. I can't even recall enough to describe to you what the sound was. It was like an unrecognizable sound, but I just figured someone was here. Listen, man, my buddies drive by and they see my truck. They're like, Lucky's there having a beer. Hell yeah, he's got a cold beer. Let's go. I bet he's got one rolled too. And that's how the day begins, That's how the good times start, fellas. But anywho, like I said, I didn't think nothing about that first noise. I thought someone was here. Then I was a little baffled when I'm like, ain't nobody here. But nothing up here scares me. Nothing in this wood scares me. So I just sort of wrote it off. So then I come out and I look at this dang bird. I pick him up and he's still extremely warm. No rigor mortis or nothing. Looking at him, I'm like, he might not even be dead. He might be stunned. I don't know. Very warm bird. So I go, well, I'm going to take him over there and lay him in the woods. So if he wakes up, he can fly away. But I'm not going to leave him here because if he dies right here, then I got a dead bird laying here next to my sauna. I just thought that was, a little weird. So give him a proper burial, take him out there and put him under some leaves or whatnot. So anyway, I start walking this way, y'all. As you can see, maybe you can't see, underneath all this grass and stuff, my driveway, you see this is Lake Superior sand. I'm only, as the crow flies, I'm probably less than 2 miles from the lake here, maybe closer. This river dumps into the lake, but 3 miles, 3 to 4 miles drive, and you can be at the pier, so and at the beach. So maybe it's not even that far. I don't know. We're close to the lake. So it's all Lake Superior sand. So I turn around from over here by the sauna with a warm dead bird in my hand, going, like, oh man, walking towards the woods so I can get him out of the area where he might be stepped on or driven over or whatever, or die and just lay there stinking up my sauna. And as I enter the area of the sand, y'all ain't gonna guess what I'm about to say, are you? Yes, indeed, very large dog prints in the sand, and they look like they was moving quick. And as per the other two, it was not on all fours. And folks, I ain't got no reason to make this shit up. Annette already knows this story because as soon as it happened, I'm like, oh my gosh, because she's the one that was here and had the other experience. And I'm telling you, after Annette and Brian told me about the weird animal in the woods and then they found the dog prints, me and Michael said, y'all ain't going to believe this shit, but we found some big dog prints down there. They're like, no way. We're like, yeah, way. So we're here going, no way that you just found some big dog prints. So everybody's like laughing and chuckling and freaking out. So this is the third incident. And what was weird is it involves a big mysterious noise that was big enough to make me think somebody just wheeled up in their 1982 Ford pickup truck and, shut her down in the driveway, making all kinds of racket. But I never identified what it was and didn't think nothing about it. Like, someone's here, cool, they'll knock. And then it involves a dead bird. Now I want to tell you, like I said, I've seen 8 or 12 of them, but I sit in that chair there at my desk in front of that window a lot. I'm not here very often, folks. So it was very weird that I was here for this little 20-minute, 30-minute blip in time, and I'm treated to some noise, a noise that I don't recognize, a secondary noise that I do recognize, that of a bird hitting a window, and a still warm, apparently dead or knocked the fuck out bird that I carry, and he's all warm and soft. And when I picked him up, his head went back. There was no rigor mortis yet. So that bird might still be alive, y'all. So, don't fret. But the weirdest thing was, as I started, and now I want you to understand, I wasn't looking for any animal prints. They were obvious. When you run through this fresh sand, it changes color. As I just showed you guys, I don't know if you saw this. Look, the stuff under the surface has got more dampness. So instantly, when you move the first layer of sand, in other words, a footprint is dark and sticks right out. So as soon as I picked up the bird, I was just taking a straight line to the woods, which took me right through the driveway. And heading in that exact same direction that I'm heading in now was some giant dog footprints that looked like it had a left leg and a right leg, and it looked like it was moving really fast. Hauling ass type of moving fast, right? So I had to, I wanted to share this with everybody, first of all, because I ain't got shit to do while that water's draining, and I want to make sure every drop gets out of there. I already used a shark bite last spring. That ain't happening this year. If y'all don't know what a shark bite is, they make some of the best plumbing inventions ever made in the last 120 years. You can fix a copper pipe without using a torch and stuff with the shark bite fittings. They're great. But yeah, I got to make sure, obviously, that I open every single valve, boys. Every single valve. This is when that fabricated stuff called gravity becomes your friend. Gravity? Huh? See? That's proof of gravity, Lucky. No, it's actually just the rate at which things fall. But we do know that the water is going to fall at a certain rate because it's more dense than the atmos. Anyway, folks, answer me. Answer me right. Answer me right. Answer me in the comments. Tell me what you think. Do we have a dang Dogman hanging out at camp? And has anybody that's I know there's like some people that are plagued with Dogman. Dogman are known to hang out near people's houses and continuously harass them. So there are lots of people that report continuous involvement with the Dogman that simply won't leave them alone, but never harms them, oddly enough. But so I was just wondering if, especially the dead bird thing. Now, of course, coming out of the cabin and finding a fresh dead bird that just hit a window while I was in there, and I'm only here for a half hour, was pretty ominous all by itself. I'm like, oh, that can't be a sign of a good day to come. That's not exactly how you want to wake up. Like, oh, spring is here. Hey, look at the dead bird. Whatever. But anywho, folks, there you go. There's the 3 different times that we have had Dogman tracks, or tracks that could be perceived as being Dogman. In all 3 cases, it just seemed very clear that it was walking upright. In all 3 cases, which is very, hard to, it's just, you just shrug it off, right? It's very hard to place that, because I looked at all 3 sets of prints myself, and just strange. It's a strange world, y'all. Ask yourself, who can I help today? And most importantly, what the hell? Hey. Well, I'll tell you, that was a rough day anyway. It was a rough day. I had a rough day that day. Later that day, I found out that my inner child wasn't even mine, which, I still love him just the same. But anyway, be good or be good at it, y'all.